Welcome to Dublin Explorer on 103.2 Dublin City FM and streaming live around the globe on dublincityfm.ie. Last week, during the depth of Storm Desmond, I opened my email to find an email from a friend in Scotland who said, "My son's doing the Wicklow Way, should I worry?" Given the storm conditions outside and the state of the Dublin mountains must have been at the time, I did actually think he was completely insane and thought he would change his mind. But no, here he is sitting beside me, having completed it. Alistair Sill, thank you very much for joining Dublin Explorer. So coming over here to do the walk in the middle of December wasn't entirely random. It's part of your course.
Yeah, so as part of my adventure tourism course that I'm doing, we have a module in the fourth year, which is expedition management. Part of that we have to plan a 10-day expedition, organise it and go out and actually do it, and then we have to write a report about it at the end of it.
There's always the writing a report at the end of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not all beer and skittles.
I was trying to find an idea, and I'd thought about Ireland as an idea. With my family background being partly in Ireland, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to actually come over here, see somewhere that I've never been to before, and actually meet some family as well. Granted, the time frame was really short, so meeting family has been pretty restricted. But the Wicklow Way was actually just through research, just looking up lots of different long distance walks.
Part of the walk you would have had last week, you would have had quite a lot of wet.
Well, when we came over here on the first day of our trip, just sort of doing the travelling over, our flight was delayed just because of the back end of the storm that we had. I was actually fairly worried about the weather conditions for the rest of the time, but the first 2 days were actually dry after we'd had that.
What sort of planning would you have had to do? I mean, obviously you had to buy tickets, but I know you had to go to university to buy a Ryanair flight.
The whole thing it's basically managing module, so we have to be able to do risk assessments and plan the route properly, so have, obviously the set route that's there, but have escape plans as well, contingency plans, emergency contacts, any information you'd need on the local areas, so, the emergency service numbers, stuff like that. So it's basically just acting like a professional service provider, and just planning every little eventuality that could come around. And I have the skills and I have the map and compass ability. I had safety equipment to make sure that if anything was to go wrong, people would know about it. But, with this time of year, weather's very unpredictable, and anything can happen.
How did you organise accommodation, and did you do that before you left? Or
yeah, so all the accommodation we had pre-booked in advance of coming on the trip.
Which, having planned this meticulously, you knew to the minute when you were going to arrive. And
yeah, I mean, we actually...
Oh, you actually did. I was waiting for you to laugh.
We actually...
It's a good course, that.
We actually ended up being a lot quicker than I was expecting as well, which was relatively surprising just because of the adverse weather that we had, and just from having done a lot of walking in the past, I was expecting a slightly slower speed, but we actually kept a very good pace. So now what they have is they have sort of small brown posts with a wee yellow man, walking position, and it's got a yellow arrow showing the direction at each sort of juncture. Take 10 days just to do the walking. The thing with our expedition is that the whole thing had to take 10 days, so that's moving from Fort William and flying to wherever we were going to be going and getting back. And one of the most important things that we added in was a buffer day, essentially, so that if something did go wrong or we did need an extra day just to recover, we had that there.
Meeting you in Marley Park was hilarious because friends with Alistair on Facebook, so I recognised him, and I said, Alistair, and he was on his own, and I said, "Where's Hannah?" And he just pointed, coming from the coffee shop, looking like a tin soldier with flat batteries. Was this girl? But no, she recovered quite quickly, in fairness to her, and she has said several times since then that that is her last hill walk. Well, I think that the wild is safe in your hands anyway. I thank you so much for sharing your experiences with me. You've made me eager to do the Wicklow Way, but I'm going to wait till June. The rain is warmer in June. So, Alistair Sill, thank you so much for joining Dublin Explorer. You've been listening to Alistair Sill telling us about the Wicklow Way on Dublin Explorer on 103.2 Dublin City FM. Do visit us on our Facebook page.